Santa Monica, one of California's most iconic cities, has long been celebrated for its golden sandy beaches, the breathtaking Santa Monica Pier, and the vibrant energy of the 3rd Street Promenade. For decades, this city represented the pinnacle of prosperity, cultural richness, and an enviable quality of life. It was a place where the American dream was not just alive but thriving, a city that attracted dreamers, entrepreneurs, and families from all walks of life. But today, as you walk through its streets, it becomes glaringly obvious that something has drastically changed. Santa Monica is no longer the beacon of vibrancy it once was. What really happened to this city that was once one of California's crown jewels? How did a place so full of life and promise come to grapple with the very issues it once seemed immune to? To truly understand the present reality of Santa Monica, we must first return to its origins. Santa Monica was founded in 1875, envisioned as a luxurious coastal retreat, attracting the wealthy and influential who were looking for a serene yet opulent escape. By the early 20th century, particularly from the 1920s through the 1990s, the city flourished. It became a magnet for tourists from across the globe, a haven for Hollywood stars, artists, and visionary entrepreneurs who saw in Santa Monica a unique blend of natural beauty and urban sophistication. The Santa Monica Pier, inaugurated in 1909, quickly became an iconic landmark, symbolizing the vitality and charm of the city. It was more than just an amusement spot. It was the heart of a community, a place where memories were made, and the magic of the city was felt by all who visited. The 3rd Street Promenade, established in the 1960s, was one of the first pedestrian-only shopping districts in the United States, a brilliant example of urban planning that not only drew millions of visitors but also set a precedent for future developments across the country. This transformation of a city into a cultural and economic hub was nothing short of extraordinary. Yet, as the decades passed, cracks began to appear in the city's seemingly perfect facade. What went wrong? The answer lies in a complex web of decisions, policies, and unforeseen consequences. A series of public policies, often well-intentioned, ended up contributing to the city's gradual decline. Rent control policies, introduced to protect long-term residents and maintain affordability, began to create significant distortions in the real estate market. In an effort to preserve the character of the city and keep housing costs down, new construction projects were severely restricted, leading to a scarcity of available housing. This housing shortage created a market where prices soared, making it increasingly difficult for even middle-class families to afford homes. As demand continued to exceed supply, Santa Monica's real estate market became one of the most expensive in the country, driving out those who had lived there for generations. These policies, though aimed at preserving affordability, ironically paved the way for rampant gentrification. The very laws that were supposed to protect residents ended up displacing them. Long-term residents, many of whom were from working-class backgrounds, found themselves priced out of their own neighborhoods as wealthy newcomers moved in, attracted by the city's desirability and limited housing supply. What was once a diverse and inclusive community began to transform into an enclave for the elite, inaccessible to the majority. Santa Monica, which had prided itself on being a city for everyone, started to lose its social fabric, becoming increasingly homogenized and exclusive. The result? Stagnant population growth, a sharp increase in economic inequality, and a city that no longer reflected the diversity and vibrancy that once defined it. The changes in Santa Monica's housing policies were just one piece of the puzzle. In recent years, the city's public safety policies have also undergone significant shifts. For decades, Santa Monica was renowned as one of the safest cities in California, a place where families could walk the streets at night without fear. However, as judicial reforms and changes in policing policies were implemented, the city began to face new and unexpected challenges. The rise in property crimes and an increasing sense of insecurity started to permeate the community. Residents who once felt completely safe in their neighborhoods began to express concerns about the rising crime rates and the visible signs of social decay. A particularly troubling aspect of this shift has been the dramatic increase in the homeless population. Santa Monica, like many cities in California, has seen a significant rise in the number of individuals experiencing homelessness. This is not merely a statistic. It is a visible, daily reality for those living in the city. Various social policies have been implemented to address this crisis, including emergency shelters, meal programs, and mental health services, but the results have been mixed at best. While some initiatives have provided temporary relief, offering short-term housing and essential services, the lack of a comprehensive and sustainable approach to affordable housing has led to a perpetual cycle of poverty and marginalization. The 3rd Street Promenade, once a bustling example of successful urban design, now struggles with the visible and growing presence of the homeless population, affecting local businesses and altering the experience for residents and visitors alike. The economic ramifications of these changes have been nothing short of devastating. Santa Monica, which once boasted a thriving economy driven by tourism, is now witnessing a slow but steady decline. Tourism has always been one of the bedrocks of Santa Monica's economy, with millions of visitors flocking to its beaches, shopping districts, and cultural landmarks each year. However, as the city's reputation began to suffer, the number of tourists dwindled. The public perception of Santa Monica shifted, with many potential visitors choosing to spend their time and money in other parts of California. The decrease in tourist activity has had a domino effect on the local economy. Restaurants, shops, and hotels that once thrived on the constant influx of tourists now face unprecedented challenges, struggling to stay afloat. Long-standing businesses that had become institutions in the community have closed their doors, leaving behind empty storefronts and a sense of loss for those who remember the city's golden years. One of the most alarming developments is the exodus of investments from the city. Santa Monica, which was once a prime destination for real estate development and commercial ventures, is now being avoided by many investors. The economic and social instability, coupled with public policies perceived as unfavorable to development, has led many entrepreneurs and investors to seek opportunities elsewhere. The city's regulatory environment, while intended to maintain its character and manage growth, has often been seen as overly restrictive, discouraging new projects and innovation. This has resulted in a stagnation of development, with few new projects being initiated and many others being abandoned before completion. The once dynamic and forward-looking city now risks being left behind as other regions embrace change and attract the capital that Santa Monica desperately needs. But the story of Santa Monica is not solely one of decline and hardship. It is also a story of resilience, of hope, and of a community that refuses to give up. Behind the statistics and policies are the real people who have lived through the city's transformation. Their stories reveal the human impact of these changes, offering a poignant reminder that cities are not just about buildings and infrastructure. They are about the people who call them home. From families struggling to maintain their homes to small business owners facing insurmountable odds, these are the voices of those who are living the consequences of political and economic decisions every day. Take the story of Maria, a longtime resident of Santa Monica. Maria and her family have lived in the city for over 30 years, having purchased their home in the 1980s when prices were much more reasonable. Over the years, she has watched her neighborhood transform beyond recognition. When we moved here, it was a middle-class neighborhood, full of families like ours. Now, I can barely recognize the street. Houses have been torn down to make way for mansions, and my longtime neighbors have moved away because they can no longer afford the property taxes. Maria fights to keep her home, but the future remains uncertain. The city I loved is gone. But I still believe we can bring it back. Maria's story is not an isolated one. John, a small business owner who operates a clothing store on the 3rd Street Promenade, has seen his customer base plummet over the past 5 years. In the 90s and 2000s, my store was always busy. But now, sales have dropped by half. The homeless crisis has driven away many customers, and tourism is down. I'm struggling to keep the doors open. Like many others, John is contemplating closing his store, a move that would be devastating not only for him but also for his employees who have become like family. His story reflects the broader struggles faced by many small business owners in Santa Monica, who find themselves caught in an economic downturn they never anticipated. Despite these challenges, there are those in Santa Monica who are determined to turn things around. Community groups, local activists, and concerned citizens are banding together to advocate for changes in public policy. They believe that with the right reforms, Santa Monica can once again become the thriving, inclusive city it once was. Some of these groups are focusing on the housing crisis, pushing for more affordable housing developments and the reform of rent control laws to better balance the needs of long-term residents and new arrivals. Others are working to improve public safety, calling for increased policing, more effective crime prevention programs, and a renewed focus on addressing the root causes of crime, such as poverty and lack of opportunity. One of the most promising areas of focus is the revitalization of the city's commercial districts, particularly the 3rd Street Promenade. There is a growing recognition that these areas must evolve to meet the needs of a changing population and economy. Ideas being discussed include transforming these spaces into more interactive, cultural hubs that reflect the unique identity of Santa Monica. This could involve introducing more public art, hosting community events, and creating spaces that encourage social interaction and engagement. The goal is to create a commercial environment that not only attracts visitors but also serves the needs of the local community, fostering a sense of belonging and pride. Moreover, Santa Monica is not isolated in its challenges. Other cities in California have faced similar problems but have managed to find solutions that could serve as valuable lessons. For example, San Francisco, which also struggled with a housing crisis, has implemented policies to incentivize the construction of affordable housing, helping to stabilize property prices and reduce the homeless population. While San Francisco's situation is unique, the principles behind its approach, encouraging development while protecting affordability, could be adapted to fit Santa Monica's needs. By learning from the successes and failures of other cities, Santa Monica can craft policies that are both innovative and effective, tailored to the specific challenges it faces. Los Angeles offers another example of how cities can reinvent themselves. The revitalization of downtown Los Angeles, once a symbol of urban decay, has been nothing short of remarkable. Through a combination of public and private investment, the area has been transformed into a thriving cultural and commercial hub, attracting new businesses, residents, and visitors. This transformation was not accidental. It was the result of strategic planning, investment in infrastructure, and a commitment to creating a vibrant urban environment. Santa Monica can draw inspiration from this success, exploring how similar strategies could be applied to its own commercial areas and underutilized spaces. However, some of the most important lessons for Santa Monica may come from smaller, less well-known cities in California. Cities like Palo Alto and Cupertino have managed to create prosperous, resilient communities by focusing on a balanced approach to urban planning. These cities have understood that development must serve the community, not the other way around. Instead of allowing unchecked growth to erode their unique character, they have implemented policies that encourage diversity, innovation, and sustainability. They have invested in education, public spaces, and infrastructure that supports both economic growth and social cohesion. Santa Monica, with its rich history and cultural assets, is well positioned to adopt similar strategies, ensuring that development enhances rather than detracts from the city's identity. Santa Monica needs a radical rethinking of its approach to governance and development if it is to return to its former glory. The lessons from other cities offer a roadmap, but success will depend on the collective will of its citizens and leaders to embrace change. What is at stake is not just the future of Santa Monica, but also the example the city can set for the rest of the country. If Santa Monica can overcome its challenges, revitalize its economy, and restore its community spirit, it could become a model for other cities facing similar issues. It could show that even in the face of significant challenges, it is possible to rebuild and create a thriving, inclusive community that honors its past while embracing the future. Santa Monica is indeed a city in crisis, but there is still hope. The choices made today will determine the city's future. We must act now to ensure that Santa Monica does not become just a shadow of its past. This is the time for us to unite as a community. Share this video, participate in discussions, get involved in local decisions. The future of Santa Monica is in our hands. As we reflect on Santa Monica's story, we realize that cities, like people, go through cycles of highs and lows. But with resilience, innovation, and a clear vision for the future, it is possible to overcome challenges and create a place where everyone can thrive. The lessons learned in Santa Monica are applicable anywhere because they show us that a city's true strength lies in its ability to adapt, evolve, and, above all, care for its community. What happens next depends on all of us. It is up to the people of Santa Monica to shape their city's future, to demand better policies, to foster a culture of inclusivity and innovation, and to work together to create a city that not only survives but flourishes. In the end, Santa Monica's story is not just about urban decline or economic challenges. It is about the resilience of a community that refuses to give up. It is about the power of collective action and the belief that, no matter how dire the circumstances, there is always a path forward. The challenges facing Santa Monica are significant, but they are not insurmountable. With the right strategies, the right leadership, and the will of its people, Santa Monica can once again become a city where dreams are made. A city that inspires, a city that leads, and a city that embraces its future with confidence and optimism. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it is a journey worth taking. Together, we can write the next chapter of Santa Monica's story, a chapter of renewal, of growth, and of hope.